Hi, my name is Delilah. Thank you for clicking on my channel. This episode is in a collaboration with Chris from Sew Notes. We both decided to make our daughter's Easter dresses. So if you have a daughter, if you love sewing, then you're going to enjoy this episode. If you are new to my channel, I post sewing tutorials every Wednesday, so consider subscribing, and also at the end of the video you can give me a thumbs up if you feel that I've earned it. Okay, and so today I'm just going to show you how I made this really cute dress for my daughter. I'm going to put the neck back on band on. You're going to see me make pockets. So it is a great dress, and I hope that you stay until the end, and I'll have my daughter model it. Okay, so right now I'm just going to be working on the two sleeves, and I'm going to add the ruffle to the bottom of the sleeve. How I do that is I just double up my fabric. This ruffle ends up being, let's see, 1, 2, 3, I cut it about 4.5 inches wide, and then I did it double the length of my sleeve, see? And I just used a rolled hem foot to finish the bottom. Some people just cut the raw edge. Since it's knit, it won't fray, so you can do that as well. I still can't decide which I like better. So I'm gonna gather this to make it into a ruffle, and then eventually I will sew it onto my sleeve. So let's go ahead and ruffle the sleeve now. What's nice about gathering it through the serger is that it is already evenly gathered. Now I can just pin at the bottom of my sleeve, and then we'll put it through the serger again. Okay, now I'm going to run these through the serger. Okay, so this is what it looks like. When you're doing your ruffling, make sure you always inspect it, because look, I missed a spot right here. It's lifted up. So I'm just going to run it through my sewing machine. Even on this side, you don't want to go through all that work and then, have your daughter wear it and then there's a hole in it. Okay, so I've inspected them and they look really cute now. So I'm going to move on to the bodice, so the front and the back, and I'm going to sew these together, and then I will attach the sleeves, and then I'm going to attach the neckband. I'm just going to get the neckband over with. Okay, so I've sewn my front to the back, and here's my neckband, and I'm just going to iron this down and attach it before I even put on the sleeves, because I hate the neckband part. I might as well just get it over with right now. So here's my bodice. I'm going to fold it in half. And here you will find your middle clippings, which I should have done in the beginning and I didn't. So you can clip the middles or you can mark them with a pen. Here's one middle. So then I'm gonna clip right here. Now I'm going to take the back seam and right sides together, match it up right here on that back clip, and then match up this one on this next clipping. Okay, so now it looks like this, and I can already tell That's not enough stretch. What I'm saying is I feel like the neckband is too big because it's not stretching it out as much. It's fitting too perfect. So I'm going to shorten my neckband, and believe me, I am doing this from experience. Okay, so this one seems like it's gonna have better stretch. So I pinned the 4, but I'm gonna take it one step further and pin in between those ones as well, because I don't have good luck with neckbands. So I'm just going to stretch it like this and pin it right there. And then stretch these 2 out. Okay, so here's what the neckband looks like. I'm gonna run it through the serger now. Okay, I have a good feeling about this one. Let's see what it looks like when we iron it down. Okay, finally one that I don't feel like I have to redo. Okay, now we're going to attach the arms. Okay, so I got the sleeves attached on both sides. So now I'm just going to put that through the serger. Okay, let's take a look at what the sleeves look like. Okay, so now I'm going to sew the back panel, and it needs to be double the width of the back side. So I have folded it in half, and now I'm going to cut it the length. The length I'm going to use is just these pair of leggings that I have. Now I'm working on sewing the bottom skirt to the bodice, to the top. So I'm just going to mark the middle of my bodice. And then I gathered this on my serger, so I'm just going to mark the middle and start clipping them on. Okay, now I'm gonna sew this down. I'm gonna use my sewing machine to sew down the front panel because I just want it to be perfect. And you want to constantly make sure that you're pushing or that you're pulling all the gathers and stuff out from underneath. Okay, see, so when you're sewing it in, you want to make sure that all your ruffles are going down because the sewing foot will tend to sway them this way. But that looks good so far. I'm going to make sure that all my fabric caught it in the back, which it looks like it did. And then I want to take a minute to brag about these ruffles. I did the ruffles on my serger, so I didn't have to take a lot of time pulling the fabric to try to get the ruffles all even. It was already even because I did it on my serger. So the pockets were made by just simply taking my hand like this and cutting it around. This is going to be for a child's portion. For an adult, you would actually give, more of a seam allowance and obviously make it bigger. So I did I actually cut 4 of them out. Here's the front of my dress that I did not finish sewing down. So I just measured it when I put it on my daughter, and I notched it right here where I want the pockets to be. And so from the edge, it's about 3 inches down. So what I'm going to do is, let me take the back part out. And I'm just going to put a stay stitch, or what you would call a basting stitch. And I'm going to baste the pocket right here on the front, and then I'm also going to baste one on the back and on this side as well. So I clipped the pocket where I want it to be on the left side of the dress, and then I'm just going to fold this over and match it so that the other pocket is going to be at the same length. And then and then I'll clip this one. Okay, and now we're gonna match them up to the back of the skirt. Okay, so this is the back of the skirt. So I'm just gonna make sure everything lines up really well, and then we're gonna attach the pockets to the back to make sure that it lines up with the front. And then repeat this to the other side, and then make your basting stitch on all 4 pockets, and then we'll come right back. So now we have stitched our pockets on. Now what we're gonna do is we're ready to sew down the sides. So what I'm going to do is have my pockets go out like this, and I'm going to match them up. And they're gonna be sticking out on the sides like this. And now I'm going to sew down here, and I'm gonna go around here, and I'm gonna sew here and go here. Sew these pockets together here, and then go all the way down here. It's that easy. One thing I find helpful with sewing with knits, besides my serger, is I always use my walking foot if I'm going to do it on my regular sewing machine. I feel like it makes a huge difference with pushing the knits through. So I did it. I got it done. It took a lot longer than I thought. So I used the sweetie pie pattern for the top portion. So the neckband, the sleeve area, and the bodice. And then I just cut it in half. The sleeves are not part of that pattern. I'm sorry, the ruffles are not part of the pattern. So I made my own ruffles, that you saw in there. And then I added my own length, my own ruffles to the bottom. I used the pockets just from something that I had learned, that method from. Now, another reason why I didn't go with the full length maxi is because my daughter is just so adventurous. She's always running and jumping around, and she's going to be, you know, wearing this during an Easter egg hunt, which she takes very seriously, as anyone would. And so I didn't want her to be tripping over her dress. So I did trim this up shorter just for her adventurous personality. So I will make a maxi version here shortly. Let's see what it looks like. But what I ended up doing is not only like the high-low in the front and back, I kind of, you know, I want it to be a lot higher in the front and then a lot lower in the back. And that didn't happen, and that's okay. I did add ruffles to the bottom. So see how the front, and it's got the pockets. See, so even though this took me a lot longer, I guess it was worth it because it's got these cute pockets on the side. I am really, really excited with the results. So I think that she is really happy with this. And I also want to just thank Chris from Sew Notes for joining in on this with me, because it's an Easter dress, and I knew she had a daughter, and so I wanted her, you know, asked her if she wanted to make one as well. So make sure that you go over to her channel and check out the dress that she made for her daughter. And I hope you guys have a happy Easter, and until next time, happy sewing.